I recently finished Heart-Shaped Box by Joe Hill, and it made me realize that I just don't like horror. So I've tried a couple before. I started out with Shirley Jackson, We Have Always Lived in the Castle. I thought this was okay. Then I tried Yrsa Sigurdardottir, I Remember You. Hated it. Also read Stephen King's Pet Sematary. Hated it. And last but not least, I read Frankenstein by Mary Shelley and despised it. But although I've read these books, I've been thinking that, well, there has to be some book out there that is horror and that I could enjoy, but I don't think there is, and let me try to explain why. First of all, they're not scary, and don't get me wrong, I hate being scared or shocked. Watching a horror movie isn't my thing at all, but when I decide to read a horror novel, I would like to be a little bit afraid of the dark, or just being a bit cautious of my environment, I guess. But that doesn't really happen at all. Maybe this has something to do with not embracing the experience. I guess that if you're all the time while you're reading thinking to yourself that I'm not going to be shocked, well, maybe you won't, because you've determined that you won't be shocked or scared. So that could be one reason. Another one is that, of course, you have audiovisual effects when you watch a movie, and those are pretty effective, so all you got is the things that you read in your head, and that might not be sufficient, I guess. I think in my mind now, horror has become crime fiction, just with a lot more blood and more grotesque, both like the scenery and language, but without maybe the plot all the way there. I feel like what these two genres have in common is the feeling of suspense, but when I read horror, the suspense always just lasts until one point and then it's all gone. But with crime fiction, often you have like a point where it's all revealed, but it's still quite thrilling because there's so much stuff to untangle. Maybe I've just read the wrong horror books again, but my feeling is that horror books, it's just, they're so fixed on this one plot, and it's a pretty straightforward thing where at one point someone dies and it's over, or the ghost is revealed and it's over. Maybe I've just been unlucky, who knows. Another thing is that I both accept sci-fi and fantasy, but there's just something in the way horror tends to exaggerate things, so I don't mind parallel universes, but I do mind a bloodthirsty ghost. I just don't get it. It's a bit too much, maybe. As always, when I'm making videos, I try to explain how I feel, and then it's up to you to explain how I actually feel. So please do comment if you have thoughts on my feelings. That would be much appreciated. But there is something about that it's all a bit too messy, and it seems like a championship of using a fouler language or a more bloody scene, or just making it worse without being scary. It's just sometimes nasty or yucky, but not scary. Also in this same category, it annoys me when people shriek or gasp. Please calm down. No matter if you're killed or being tortured, please just stay a bit calm. That would be appreciated as well. A small part of me wants to say that I don't like horror because it's just a little bit more badly written. This is of course probably not true. I've just read a bunch of horror books I don't like. But there is a feeling of authors wanting to make stuff worse, make you feel a little bit more nauseous, instead of focusing on the literary, difficult word, quality. So there's one exception in this pile, and I did really like the writing in this. I just didn't like the storyline. So this is sort of an exception, but in general, this is how I feel. So please do change my mind in the comment section. I'm always a little bit too eager to try out new books that I don't think I'll like, so I'll try more of them. And thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!